Welcome back to the My Restyling channel. I'm Christina. Today we're talking about the different materials you can use to create molds like these. I made these gnomes, these in particular. One is made of resin, the one on the right, and the one on the left is made of ceramic powder. You can see how nicely detailed they are. There are various materials you can find on the website myrestyling.com. Now I'll explain them to you. So this gnome you see here is made of resin. Specifically, on the website, we sell the white fill by Reschimica. I'm not making a video about this because there are already so many videos about resin molds. This gnome, on the other hand, is made with ceramic powder. You can see this one here, which we sell on the Stamperia website. Maybe there aren't many videos about this one. I have these silicone molds that I bought on Temu, but you can find them anywhere. And now let's see how to make a mold with ceramic powder. Here it says you need 800 milliliters of water for 1 kilogram of powder. So I'll start by putting my powder on the scale. Also, even if you don't weigh it, it's really fine. It's not a big deal. Unlike resin, which has to be measured down to the milliliter, here it's not a big problem. Once I've added my powder, now I measure out my water. I add about 75 milliliters of water, more or less. If you have a graduated container, use that first. There you go. Then I put my powder into the graduated container, so I don't have to measure everything again. If a little bit falls out, it's no big deal. Like I said, it doesn't have to be exactly to the milliliter. This isn't like resin, where it has to be more precise. The better you do it, the better the result, then just mix it well. Now I'll show you why there shouldn't be any lumps, so mix until all the lumps are gone. See, it should be nice and liquid. And then I'm going to carefully pour it into my flexible silicone mold. This time I took the bigger one. I don't know if both will fit, but I'll try. You need to fill it right up to the edge of the mold, so go slowly. Okay, I'll try to put it in the smaller one too. I don't think it'll fit, and in fact it doesn't. Oh well, I'll just make some more now to finish filling the mold. Here I am with my molds. I left them on the radiator all night since it's December. I let them sit all night so they could warm up well. It's better to have two people when you take them out because they're actually a bit hard. So now let's take them out. Let's remove the first one. You see, it's better if there are two of you. One holds and the other removes. Here it is. I'd say it's perfect, a perfect gnome. Look how well defined it is. There's even the writing. It's beautiful, really, really cute. Now let's take out the other one too. It's always better to get some help. Here it is. This one was a bit easier, but it's also really cute. So I'd say ceramic powder is approved. These are really, really nice. Now let me show you another material. I have these molds which are a bit big and they're supposed to be candle holders. As you can see, they have a hole in the middle to put the candle in. They're really, really cute. I also got these on Temu, but get them wherever you want. You can find them anywhere. So now let's talk about water resin. This one I'm showing you, I put it on the little plate because it leaks a bit. It's a powdered resin, completely non-toxic, also from Reschimica. And it's also something we sell on the website myrestyling.com. The proportions are 30 grams of water to 100 grams of resin. At least that's what it says on the package. So now I'm going to weigh out my resin. I show you Reschimica and it's the water resin. This is a kilo and it costs really very little. You can go and get it on the website or even come to the store. We have a shop in San Giorgio Biegarelli in the province of Mantua, Giotto Square 4. You can find it very cheap. Right now I weigh about 200 grams. I don't know if it will be enough anyway. In the meantime, I'll start with 200 grams since my container isn't that big. Okay, here are my 200 grams. And since you need 30 grams for every 100, now I'll add 60 grams of water. Hopefully it will all fit in the container, but it should. Here we go, 60 grams of water. And then I mix everything together. Here too you need to mix it very, very well because you see if it gets lumpy, you have to keep on mixing until there are absolutely no more lumps. There it is. Now it looks well mixed to me. Now I'll pour it into the mold. It really needs to be very, very liquid. There, I don't have enough, so I'll make some more now. This is a process that takes a long time, so you can take your time with it. Take it easy. It's not like polyurethane or epoxy resins. There, you see. I've carefully filled it to about precisely halfway up the mold, so I have just made some more of the mixture now, as you can observe. I pour it in again until I reach right up to the top of the mold. There, I filled it right to the brim, but I still have some left over. So I take a mold because you can also use these resins to make molds for decorative elements to put on furniture. Now I have this mold, which is beautiful, a Stamperia mold. You can also find this one on the website. It's a silicone mold. And now I want to make these little decorative pieces here. I'll show you, it's very easy. Pouring them here too, they turn out really beautiful, very well defined. I'll show them to you once they're dry. Let's see if I have enough. Yes, there's still plenty left. Another candle holder. Well, I didn't have enough for that, but for these small molds, it's perfect. Okay, poured. Now we wait for them to dry and then I'll show you what they look like when they're dry. Here's the mold. I let it sit overnight and this time I also put it on the radiator since it's winter. Now let's take it out. I have to say this one is a bit hard to remove because it's a very large mold and I assure you it's also quite heavy. It's a bit difficult to take out. But you can manage if you proceed quite slowly, since the mold is also rather heavy. There we go, we managed to remove the mold, and I have to say it turned out really well. This candle holder is also really, really beautiful. Heavy, but beautiful. Very well defined and very cute. I'll also show you these decorative elements I made because, as you know, I had a bit of extra resin. And these too turned out really beautiful, very detailed. By the way, if you put these next to each other, look, they form a heart. Look how beautiful they are. They form a heart. Now I'll show them to you up close. See, they're super detailed, so AQUARESIN is approved as well. Now let's look at another material, which is stone clay, also from the brand Stamperia, and I wanted to make this little vase. Also bought on Temu, I got them all together. Let's see if I can do it then. Stone clay is clay-based and comes with this little bottle that contains a 2-component resin. And this little bag that has clay inside, since I had already used some, now I'll measure how much clay I have left. That way we can also see how much is left in the bottle. The instructions say to mix 1 to 2, so it's actually pretty simple. Let's see. Meanwhile, I'll measure my clay. Okay, so once I've measured my clay, I take my little bottle, always using a graduated container. These small ones here, which are from the collector, so basically you can recycle everything if you have them. They're really handy for doing this kind of thing. And I also put the contents of my bottle in ml, because the clay is in grams and the contents of the bottle in ml. So if you have these graduates, it's the best. Okay, now towards my resin, so the contents of the bottle inside the clay, and then I mix well. Then, as with all the other materials, always the same old story. I pour it all in. Here it is, I mix well, and as always, the same old story. There shouldn't be any lumps now, you see, it's not like there's a lot of it. So in my opinion, I won't be able to make this little pot, so I decided to use the small gnome mold because I'm not sure it'll be enough. By the way, these molds are new, so I can't really get the measurements right. Alright, I pour it into my little gnome mold, the small gnome one. This way we can also see how the clay gnome turns out. There, I have some left over. Maybe I actually could have used it for the little pot, but oh well. I'm putting it into the decorative trims, still using the mold, so maybe I can also show you how these clay trims turn out, in case you want to make them for furniture. I still have a lot left, so maybe I could have done the little pot, but oh well, that's how it went. I'll do it another time. I still have some remaining, so I'll just carefully make the very last trim, and then I will show you the final result once they are completely dry. We're good. Here's the mold. As usual, a whole night has passed. Now I'll remove it with this mold. I'll manage this myself since it's so small anyway. The clay isn't even particularly heavy. Here it is. I'd say it turned out well, nicely defined. You can see it. You can really see the different material of the clay. You can see even the little holes in the clay on the hat, so it's a bit different from the other resins. If you leave it like this without painting it, it's actually quite nice. I'll show you how the other friezes turned out as well. Well, they're beautiful. These turned out well too, nicely defined, you see, so I'd say this material works great as well. It's nice that this frieze and the last one, you see they're really well defined, so I'd say the stone clay is approved as well. So, well, I'll show you all of them with a quick recap. The gnome in resin, which I didn't make a video about because there are already many videos on resin. The gnome with ceramic powder, and also these other two little gnomes with ceramic powder. All of them turned out really well. Gnome with clay, so the stone clay. And finally, the candle holder with Reschimica's water resin. So they all turned out well. Now I'll show you that all these figurines we've created can be painted. Meanwhile, I want to paint the candle holder. I've prepared gold and black paint. Let's start with black. In the meantime, I've started painting the eyes. You need to have a small brush, because above all, they're very small. So you need small brushes to do the details with decent brushes. There you go. Then I decided to paint all the hair with gold. This is the gold that we prepare ourselves. You can see it on the website. There's a kit to make your own gold paint. If you want, you can buy it. Gold never needs to be protected. It's an acrylic gold. So don't worry, because you don't even need to protect it. I basically did all the hair in gold. I also switched to using an even smaller brush for the details. If you like it, and if there's someone who's used to doing these little projects, they'll definitely be better at it than me. But it was simply to demonstrate to you that they are able to be painted and they end up really quite adorable. I also painted all the hair in the back. Then I started painting the gnome. Let me remind you that this one is made of ceramic powder, while the candle holder from before was made with water resin. This way you can also see that different materials can be painted. I took the flat brush, size 18, to paint the hat. You can find it on our website in the flat brush set. These brushes are from the brand Stamperia. They're really useful for doing these small details and they work well. Then I took a drop-shaped brush because we also have a set of drop-shaped or round brushes. Call them whatever you like. They're also great for making the little legs. And then I took brush number 8. Yes, I'm not sure if you can see it well, but it's number 8. To make the little nose. I used Rosaline, our beautiful Rosaline color, the shade. I also wanted to add some little stars on the hat. Then if you add some decorations, it turns out even cuter. The light blue color you see is our candy, and I made the little stars with ivory, which is a warm white. You see, you really don't have to be a professional, and I'm just saying, often these little brushes are tricky, but oh well. Anyway, as a hobby, you can do it. See how cute it looks even with the little stars? In the end, I protect my gnome with decoupage glue, which also acts as my sealant, so that's how I protect it. Because you see, my sleeves get dirty when I pick it up. You see, they get a bit blue, because if the paint isn't protected, then on this ceramic powder, plaster, or whatever it is, the paint comes off, that's why. So we make sure to protect it well. And as for the gold on the candle holder, the gold is already acrylic. It doesn't need to be protected. Okay, now let's do a recap. We have the little gnome in resin, polyurethane resin, which is this white fill that I didn't make a video about because there are already too many videos with resin. Then we have the little gnomes made with ceramic powder. One has been painted. Here, this is the ceramic powder from the Stamperia brand. We have the 400-gram package and also the 900-gram one. You can see how cute they are, really, really cute. This one here is also completely painted. Then we have the little gnome made with stone clay. Look how beautiful it is. This one is also made with stone clay, which is clay. This too is another material. And then we have the painted candle holder, completely painted even on the back. With these, it's not necessary to protect it when made with water. Resin, all these materials. Let me remind you, now I'll put them all here in front of you just to remind you. You can find them all on our website, meyerstyling.com. Or if you live near Mantua, you can find them in the store in San Giorgio Bigarello, in the province of Mantua, in Piazza Giotto. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, and for our YouTube friends, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Bye. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.